Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at this question here, talking about working with functions and doing operations on them. So I've got f of x minus g of x, and we're going to try and show the steps of subtracting them either horizontally or vertically. We'll talk about both. It's just kind of what your preference is in that regard. So let's start with doing it horizontally. So because it says f of x minus g of x, when we write this out, we have to make sure that we start with f of x. So that's going to be a half x plus 6. Now we're going to subtract. When you subtract something, always make sure that what you put in there is in parentheses. So I'm going to put my x minus 3 over here. And then in the next line, well, the first part doesn't change. It's still a half x plus 6. But now this negative has to get distributed in, also known as changing the signs of these. So we're going to have negative x plus 3. And then, if we see any like terms, we'll try and combine them. So remember, if it's a like term, it's either just a number, like the 6 and the 3, or it's got a variable. In fact, it's got the same variable, like a half x and x, and it also has to have the same exponent. These do, because they're both an exponent of 1. But that's not too important right now. What is important is we just make sure we combine the numbers, the constants, and the variables, so the x's. So here I have a half x minus x. So remember, when there's no coefficient number to the left of x written, we assume it's a 1. So I have a half minus 1. So I'm going to have negative 1 half x. And then 6 and 3 come together to give me a plus 9. Now, this is how you can subtract the functions, doing it horizontally, but you could equally do it vertically. So to do that, here, I'll just reset what I got. So again, since it's f minus g, we're going to write down f first. We're going to have a half x plus 6. And then we're going to have x minus 3 below it. And we are subtracting. Now, when we subtract, we got to make sure this is in parentheses, because this negative is going to come in and distribute to both of these, aka change the signs of everything down here. And when you change the signs down here, what's going to happen is we're just going to have to kind of get this in here and get this in here and change those signs. So what it's going to look like is this. A half x plus 6 minus x plus 3. So now we can just add down or just combine our terms. So I have 6 and 3, which makes 9. And then over here I have a half x, and I'm taking away x, so that's a half minus 1. So again, we're going to get negative 1 half x. Now, again, both methods, the vertically or horizontal method, both are good. It's just kind of whatever your preference is.